Hello, my name is SOFEA BINTI AZLIN from DBS Dudi, and my ID number is MDB2402006.
Hi, my name is Aizan Norhafizie Alham. I'm from class 2D and my ID number is MDB2402099.
Hello, my name is NAJIHA dan ZALMIZAN. My ID number is MDB2402130.
The purpose of this analysis is to identify the key factors that influence student academic performance at College Professional Maro Indira Makoto, or known as KPMIM in short form. By focusing on this goal, the analysis aims to provide valuable insight to the Student Affairs Department, directly aligning with the institution's core mission. These findings are crucial as they are serve as an essential tool for the department in its effort to improve academic performance and enhance the overall student success, ultimately contribute to a more effective educational environment. The objective of this analysis is to conduct a data examination on recent diploma graduates aiming to improve student retention and graduation rates. This analysis is to identify correlation between gender, diploma program, and CGPA, hoping to understand whether certain programs or genders experience higher or lower success rates. By addressing factors contributing to student success, the institution hopes to enhance retention and graduation rates, ultimately raising KPIM's reputation as a high-performing institution.
For task 1 of data sampling, the data was sampled using the random number table sampling method and was chosen for its ease of use throughout task 1. The number of graduates at KPM Indira Makoto amounted to be 200 individuals and was split into groups of 2 by alternate order, Group A and Group B. Group A was selected from the top and vertically with 40 graduates selected, whilst Group B was selected from the bottom and vertically with 40 graduates selected, amounting it to be 80 graduates in total. These 80 graduates were then sorted and color-coded for easy identification before being counted into tables to make the remaining QMT assignment. For task 2 of data presentation, we'll start with the pie chart for the preferred study methods. Firstly, it's accounted that 37 graduates prefer to study alone, making it the most popular method. Secondly, 24 graduates prefer the combination of studying alone and study groups, making it the most dynamic method. Lastly, 19 graduates prefer study groups, making it the least popular method and the most extroverted. Next, we'll look into the pie chart for diploma programs. To start with, 22 graduates came from the DCS program, whilst 20 graduates came from the DEA and the DIA programs, respectively, with 18 graduates coming from the DCD program. This distribution shows a spread of representation across all diploma programs. Next, we'll enter the comparison between support system and gender. For women, family support is slightly higher than peer support, but the difference is small. Meanwhile, for men, family support is much higher than peer support, showing a noticeable gap. The overall trend is that family is the strongest source of support for both genders, but men rely on family support more than women. Next, we'll look into the comparison between gender and study methods. Firstly, the combination of studying alone and study groups has shown to have a similar number of men and women prefer this method, with no big difference between the two genders. Secondly, study groups have shown that women much prefer study groups compared to men, showing that women tend to favor collaborative learning environments more than men. Third and lastly, studying alone have shown that men have a higher preference for studying alone compared to women, suggesting they may be more inclined towards independent learning. Overall, the graph highlights gender-based differences in study method preferences, with men favoring self-study and women leaning more towards group study. Both genders have a balanced preference for combining both methods. Next, we'll enter the comparison between diploma programs and study methods. In DCD, group study was the most preferred, followed closely by combined methods and self-study, whilst in DCS, self-study dominated, with minimal interest in other methods. Additionally, in DEC, there was a balanced preference for all 3 methods. And lastly, in DIA, self-study was a clear favorite, while group study was the least preferred. This shows how study methods varied depending on the program. Next is the histogram for the CGPA distribution. The most frequent ranges were 2.0 to 2.25, 2.50 to 2.75, 3.0 to 3.25, and 3.20 to 3.50, each with around 12 to 14 graduates. The least frequent ranges were 2.75 to 3.0 and 3.50 to 3.75, with only 4 to 6 graduates in each. Overall, the distribution was fairly uniform, with most graduates falling into similar CGPA ranges.
This frequency polygon illustrates the distribution of data across intervals from 1.75-2.00 to 4.00-4.25. The graph shows peaks in frequency at 2.00-2.25, 3.00-3.25, and 3.25-3.50, indicating these ranges contain the most data points. Conversely, lower frequency are observed in the intervals 2.75-3.00 and 3.50-3.75, as well as at the extreme ends of the data range. This algorithm displays the cumulative frequency of distribution of data across intervals ranging from 2.00-2.25 to 3.75-4.00. The graph reveals a positively skewed distribution with the highest cumulative frequency concentrated in the 3.75-4.00 interval, indicating a significant portion of the data falls within or below this range. Conversely, the lowest cumulative frequency is observed in the 2.00-2.25 interval.
Statistical analysis of CGPA for male students. So for main calculation, we use the formula for main is sum of observation divide total number of observation. Given data from the table is sum of CGPA 111.75 and the total number of male students is 58. Substitute the value into the formula, which is 111.75 divided 58. So for the final answer, the mean CGPA for 88 student is 2.94. So for calculation formula is, so first find the model class. How to find the model class is find it at table and find the higher frequency. So the higher frequency is 9. So the model class English 2.00 until 2.25. As you can see in that formula, 2 is lower boundary, 9 is frequency of model class, 0 is frequency of the class before, 5 is frequency of the class after, 0.25 is class rate. Just substitute in formula, final answer formula is 2.172. Calculation median class for math student. So first we need to determine the median class total number of observation, which is 58. And we need to divide by 2, so median position is 90.5. From the cumulative frequency table, the median class is 3.00 until 3.25. Now we need to identify values for median. We need to use the formula that are already given. So from the data, 3 is lower boundary, 18 is cumulative frequency before median class, 5 is frequency of median class, 0.25 is class width. So we need to substitute into the formula, and the final answer for median is 3.075. So now we are gonna calculate first quarter for math students. So first, we need to determine the first quartile class. So for quartile position, 38 plus 1 divided 4 equal to 9.75 observation. From the cumulative frequency table, first quartile class is 2.25 until 2.50. So now we need to identify the value first quartile. 2.25 is lower boundary of the quarter class. 9 is cumulative frequency before the quarter class. 5 is frequency of the quarter class. 0.25 is class width. So now we need to substitute into the formula. And the final answer for first quartile is 2.28. Calculate for third quartile for math students. So first we need to determine location third quartile with formula. So the answer is 29.25. From cumulative table, third quartile class is 3.05 until 3.75. Now we are gonna find value for third quartile. Use the formula and just substitute into formula. The final answer is 3.56. And for standard deviation, use formula sample standard deviation as you can see on the slide. So now we need to identify value for standard deviation. Just substitute into formula, and for the final answer is 0.711. Bessel measure of fairness use the formula mean minus mode divide standard deviation. So the final answer is 1.0799, and lastly for coefficient of variation standard deviation divide mean multiple 100%. So the final answer is 24.18%. Statistical analysis of PDPA for female students. So for mean calculation, we use the formula. For mean is sum of all observations divide total number of observations. Given data from the table is sum of PDPA is 126.02 and total number of female students is 42. Substitute the value into the formula. 123.02 divide 42. So for the final answer is the mean PDPA for the 42 female students is 3.00. Calculation mode for female students. So first we need to find model class. How to find the model class? First, we need to find it at table and find the higher frequency. So the higher frequency is 8. So the model class in range 2.50 until 2.75. As you can see, just substitute a formula. So the final answer for mode is 2.173. Calculation median for female students. So first, we need to determine the median class total number of observation 42 divided by 2. So median position is 20. From the cumulative frequency table, the median class is in range 3.50 until 3.75. So we need to substitute into the formula. So the final answer for median is 3.0208. Calculation for first quarter for female students. So first we need to determine the first quarter class. So for quarter position, 42 plus 1 divided 4. So equal to 10.75. Observation for the cumulative frequency table. First quarter class is 2.50 until 2.75. So now we need to identify the value first quarter. So just substitute into the formula. So the final answer for first quarter is 2.58. Calculation third quarter for female students. So first we need to determine location third quarter with formula. So the answer is 29.25 from cumulative table. The quarter class is 3.50 until 3.75. Now find value for third quarter. So for the final answer for third quarter is 3.56. Calculation for standard deviation. So first we need to use component sample standard deviation as you can see on the slide. So now we need to identify value for standard deviation. So for the final answer is 0.5362 for standard deviation. Calculation for Pearson measure of fairness. Use the formula mean minus mode divide standard deviation. So the final answer is negative 0.0382, and lastly for coefficient of variation standard deviation divide mean multiple 100%. So the final answer is 78.7%. This study compared the GPA performance of male and female students based on tactical measures such as mean, median, mode, quartile variation experiment. So first and foremost, for average GPA, female students have a higher average GPA with 3.00 than male students with 2.94, showing that females perform better academics overall. Okay, so for variation in score, female students' GPA are more spread out with standard deviation 0.56 compared to male with 0.52. However, the relative variation is similar for both. So for mode for female student and male student. So female student mode is 3.02, frankly in the highest GPA range, while male student mode is 2.94, frankly in the lowest GPA range. So for median, the median GPA for female student is 3.02, while for male student it is slightly higher at 3.75. with both groups falling within 3.00 until 3.25 GPA range. So for CGPA variability, female students exhibit a higher standard deviation with 0.56 compared to male students with 0.52, meaning female students' CGPA score almost way out. Both groups have a similar coefficient of variation around 70.7%, indicating that relative variation in CGPA score is nearly identical for both. So for the conclusion, female students tend to achieve higher and more consistent academic performance compared to male students. Male students, however, exhibit broader variability with a noticeable portion of their GPA falling in the lower range. This trend may reflect difference in academic strengths, challenges, or other contextual factors between the two groups.
In conclusion, our analysis of CGPA data has provided valuable insights into the academic performance trends of students across two categories. By employing descriptive statistics and advanced metrics, specifically skewness and the coefficient of variation, we have gained a deeper understanding of these performance trends. This understanding serves not only as a measure of academic success, but also as a critical tool for identifying areas where additional support is needed. Ultimately, fostering a supportive environment is essential to ensure that every student of KPIM has the opportunity to succeed. This report analysis data from recent KPIM diploma graduates is to identify factors affecting academic performance and propose targeted interventions to enhance student support and resource allocation. Key recommendations include implementing tailored support programs for underperforming diploma courses, expanding counseling services to address students' mental health needs, and offering study skills workshops that focuses on essential learning strategies, time management, and stress reduction techniques. These initiatives aim to create a supportive environment to promote overall student well-being and academic success.